online ESL resume and the cover letter. The online ESL industry is literally full of teachers applying, sending in applications, and wanting to get hired. If you are on the other end of this process and you are recruiting, just imagine how many hundreds of resumes that you would be going through. You would be going through so many. So the competition out there is absolutely fierce. It is very important to create a solid online ESL resume that addresses everything the recruiter wants to see and hear. This resume plus your self-introduction video will be all the recruiter sees from you. So you have to make sure that you position yourself as strongly as possible or you won't hear back. I am going to break this down into a simple, easy to digest 5-step guide to making a great ESL resume to get you those interviews. Underneath this video, I will attach a free template of an example of a great online ESL resume, which you can literally take and enter your own information in. So let's get stuck in. Step number 1, formatting. Use a clean, simple, and modern design. Don't change fonts, keep the same font throughout. Make it easy to read, i.e. very easy on the eyes for the recruiters. And keep your headings clear and bold. This is very important. You must do a spell check several times. Spelling mistakes are a bad sign for an English teacher, so make sure that you do a spell check a few times that everything is spelled correctly. Step number 2, the must-have information. This information is very important to a recruiter, so make it very clearly visible in your resume. I suggest the first page of your resume to have this information on it, so when a recruiter looks at it, they see it very quickly. On this front page of your resume, you must state your name, your age, your nationality, and your current location. Your nationality and current location are important. You must give your Skype ID and your email address and your contact number. Out of these, your contact number is the least important. The most important is your Skype ID, as this is where they will conduct the interview with you, so they will need to invite you on Skype. Education. First, list your highest level of education, such as your degree, master's, doctorate, diploma. Then list the rest of your education that you have undergone, and be specific with regards to the institutions you studied in. Next, list your teaching certifications, whether it is a TEFL, a TESOL, a CELTA, a PGCE, or a bachelor's in education. These are very important to list. So the two most important things to show in your education will be your degree and will be any teaching certifications that you've done. This is what recruiters look for when hiring candidates. Your experience. List the name and location of any past employers for positions that you have held over the past few years. Make sure to be clear and simple with the terminology that you use. And list your work experience starting from most recent all the way to oldest. Make sure to keep your experience teaching orientated and relevant to the job. If you don't have a plethora of teaching experience under your belt, don't fret. List volunteering, training, coaching, or mentoring jobs as well, as they can all be used to help show your skills as a teacher. And if you have any experience with children or work experience with children, such as au pairing or tutoring, then list this as well, as it shows that you have worked with children. A word of advice: don't overcomplicate everything. Keep the education experience sections easily readable and relevant to teaching. As soon as I see a very complicated resume, it gives me more of a headache than anything else. So keep it super easy to read and super relevant. Step number 3. This is something I think is really important and a lot of people don't do. I think you should include a great headshot of yourself. Keep it professional and well lit. And this picture is just always nice for recruiters to see, to be able to put a face to the application when they're reading it. Step 4. The cover letter. This is important because recruiters, like me, enjoy it when they see a cover letter, especially if it is addressed to their company. Keep the cover letter to the point, but very well written. Directly address the company you are applying to and change this with each company you apply to. Introduce in the first paragraph your name, age, nationality, education, and teaching qualifications. In the second paragraph, mention your teaching experience or the work you have done that gave you the skills to become a great teacher. And mention you have the correct equipment to do the job, as well as the correct internet speed to do the job. And just convince them as to why you would be a fantastic remote employee and an awesome teacher. Step number 5 are secret tips that you can include to boost your application. Internet. The internet connection is probably the most important factor in hiring someone to teach online for the company, because if they don't have a good internet connection, they are going to have internet issues during the lessons, and that will reflect poorly on the company. So the recruiters want to see that you have the correct internet speeds. So I would suggest running a speed test using the same speed test I told you earlier from Ookla, and taking a screenshot of this test and including it in your resume or in your application. And in your resume, you can also mention your accent and what it is most closely aligned with, whether that is a US accent or a UK accent, and the hours. Mention that you can work weekend hours. This may appear a bit strange, but a lot of online ESL companies are full of students who want to learn on the weekend. It turns out weekends are super productive for kids in Asia. So if you can mention to them your willingness to work hours on the weekend, they are likely to favor your application. Dedication and exclusivity. It does help to mention how dedicated you are to teaching ESL online. This may not be your full-time job at all, but it helps to tell them that it is very high in your priorities and you're willing to put in all the effort and dedication to being a great online ESL teacher. It can also be an added extra to mention that you are looking to work fully for one company only, and that if they hire you, you would dedicate yourself to them fully. Action steps for you to do. Okay, so now go ahead, use the template that I've provided you, or any template you desire, but make sure to use the guidelines and the key tips that I've given you. Apply them and create your own killer online ESL resume right now, or in the next week, and get that ready so you can start applying soon.